Prabhupada had a system of keys, for keeping his, you see, Prabhupada would keep a key under his keychain, under his wristwatch. This was the key to wherever his belongings were kept, his valuables were kept. So, he'd never part with this key. But because he was becoming very ill, I was always, desiring that Prabhupada would take me into his confidence. So one day he really gave me ultimate confidence in letting me hold the key. This was a key to his desk drawer. So I had the key, and then, naturally, what would I do but lose the key? So I came before Prabhupada. Prabhupada asked for something. I didn't tell him right away. I scoured Hare Krishna land. I went everywhere looking for that key, and I could not find it. I had people looking all over that place. But finally, Prabhupada called for something from the desk, and I went to Prabhupada, and I said, Srila Prabhupada, I have to tell you something. Prabhupada was laying down because he was ill. I said, yes. I said, Prabhupada, I lost the key. Prabhupada said, call the GBC. I said, which one, Prabhupada? He said, call the whole GBC here to decide what should be done. Oh, God. He said, call the whole GBC. So there was nothing I could do. I just walked out and I decided, okay, I'm going to call the GBC here. He wanted to call the whole GBC body to Bombay to decide what was going to be done with me, I guess. I don't know what the... So then I got this, I was just besides myself, and suddenly I thought, let me try another key. And, sure enough, it was an Indian lock. I just got another key, and somehow or other I opened it up. And I ran to Prabhupada. I said, Prabhupada, I said, I opened it. He said, how did you open it? I said, I found another key. And he thought, and he said, that means the lock was not very good. He said, then it doesn't matter if you lost that key because it's not a good lock. So then he said, now put the key on your Brahmin thread. He made me put the key on my thread, put the thread through it and put the key, and he said, don't ever lose this. But he had a very interesting way of keeping the key. This key was a key that opened up a safe. The safe had a key that opened up his almirah. And in the almirah, under a special place was the key that opened up the safe in the almirah. 4 keys. He had a whole key system. One key led to another key that led to another key that finally led to the key that opened up the safe. Prabhupada had a lot of systems. Another thing he had me do is that every key had to be labeled, and there had to be a log of all the keys, an index of all the keys. And not only was there an index of every key, there was an index of every item in every almirah. He wanted everything systematized. This was an Indian system. Just like you go to India, every seat, every desk, is gazetted, is numbered. This is the Indian government. Prabhupada did certain things, like Prabhupada told me, you have to keep all documents for 7 years. He had many things he learned from the Indian government. He always used to quote about the Indian railways, that he said, keep the wheels moving. He said that was a good motto for ISKCON, keep the wheels moving.
We were in New Delhi during the Bangladesh war, and so every night Prabhupada would want to work and talk to us and have meetings and have darshan with different people, but we had to keep the lights out because they had blackouts that were mandatory, and you had to turn all the lights out. So Prabhupada was unhappy about that, and I decided that I should black out the windows. So I got black cloth and put it in the windows. And that night I flipped on the lights as a surprise for him, to show him that we could have the lights on. And he said, oh, Kushalya, you have put blackout in the windows. He said, that is first-class intelligence. And then he said, first-class intelligence is you see a need and you do it. No one tells you. He said, second-class intelligence is I say to you, do this and that, and you do it excellently. That's second-class intelligence. He said, third-class intelligence is I say, go do this or that, and you run out the door, and you come back and you say, what was I supposed to do?
Prabhupada was in the early days. I was the Mott commander in Los Angeles, La Cienega Temple. Prabhupada called me one day. And he was talking to me, and he asked me to get the Bhagavatam. He had the Bhagavatam, his original Bhagavatam. And he said the cover, was a spiritual sky. And he said, you see this spiritual sky? It's very big. He said, you cannot fathom how big this is. He said, in the spiritual sky, 3/4 is the spiritual sky, 1/4 is the material creation. That material creation has innumerable universes. One universe is so big the scientists can't measure it. And we're on one planet in one of those universes out of innumerable universes which are constituting 1/4 of the creation. So on this one planet, Earth, it's one of the smaller planets in this universe. He said there are 7 continents. And on one of the continents, North America, there's a great city called Los Angeles. And in that Los Angeles city, there's a long boulevard called La Cienega. And on that La Cienega boulevard, there is one church building, which is now a Hare Krishna temple. And in that one Hare Krishna temple, there is one temple commander, and he thinks that he is very important. And I was, I felt so small. Prabhupada said he thinks that he is very important. There is one Tamal Krishna, and he thinks that he is very important.